Welcome to another episode of In Your Neighborhood. I'm Bill Talia, realtor with Baird & Warner. Today I'm in the village of Long Grove, Illinois, beautiful village, and we're discussing mortgages, mortgage information with mortgage specialist Mark Brannon with Draper and Kramer. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of In Your Neighborhood. Today I'm in Long Grove and at the wonderful coffee shop of the original coffee shop of Long Grove, and with Mark Brannon, as you guys recall from our first episode in Your Neighborhood with Draper Kramer. Mark is a mortgage specialist. Mark, how are you?
I am wonderful, Bill. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How's your coffee?
It's delicious. It hits the spot in the morning.
It does. I've got a wonderful coffee mug. It says happy. What's yours say?
Bill, I'm Mama Bear.
It is a really good cup of coffee. It's a fantastic space. Long Grove is a really wonderful location. If you haven't been here, I suggest you do come in. Wonderful stores, wonderful restaurants as well, and one place that has brick streets, brick walkways. It's a fantastic little place.
Yeah, love it.
Love it. Absolutely great. And we're going to be discussing FICO score. It's a really important topic. And Mark, what is a FICO score?
FICO score is a fancy way for calling a credit score a FICO score. It's basically one and the same thing.
Yeah.
We just use the term FICO to describe a credit score.
So it's a credit score because everyone who's applying for a mortgage, they hear what is the FICO score, FICO score, FICO score. It is your credit score.
Score used to predict, modeling to predict likelihood of repayment.
Okay, all right. And how is a FICO score determined for an individual? What types of data are used to get that score?
There's different components that go into it, and as far as what's in your score, it's a combination of your payment history, and to put a percentage on it, 35% of your score is based off of payment history, how on time you are with payments.
Okay.
Amounts that you owe, proportion of revolving usage versus revolving available to you. That's 30% of your score. Having a lengthy credit history, 15% of your score. So the longer you have credit, the more established you are, the better that's going to reflect in your credit score. And then types of credit, having excessive revolving usage, not good. It's good to also have installment balances and new credit. If you open a lot of new credit, theoretically it can take points off your score.
Okay, all right. And so, let's just say you have a low FICO score for some of the reasons that you just mentioned that were abused, say. Is there a way to improve that score?
Sure, yeah. In some cases, it could be as simple as having erroneous information deleted from your FICO.
Okay.
It could be just simply paying balances down. If you've got 1,000 credit card limit and you've got $700 in usage, as a percentage, you're using 70% of that credit. Just kicking it down to, say, $300, simply paying it down, it could add points to your credit score.
So basically keep that balance low.
Correct.
On your credit cards. Right?
Correct.
Credit balance,
Yes.
Okay.
Other ways to improve, pay bills on time. If there's a history of late payments, past dues, it's going to negatively impact your credit score. So just keep things on time. Only open new credit as needed. So if you're at a ball game and somebody's offering you a Cubs hat, you might want to think twice about opening that credit card.
Right.
It could negatively impact your credit score.
Yeah, especially if you're applying for a mortgage. right? I mean,
Correct.
it can do something there to kind of bump that number.
Not that I'm against the Cubs.
No.
Big Cubs fan here.
No.
but, yeah.
Mark is a really true Cubs fan. And how about checking your credit regularly, annually maybe?
Always good to keep an eye on it. And an app that I love a lot is Credit Karma. Now the scoring, it's not always spot on. From what I've seen, it can be as much as 20 to 40 points off from what a lender will actually pull. But excellent for trending. If a collection, if something, let's say you get a late payment reported, it'll notify you. So it's good to kind of use it for monitoring purposes and just to kind of make sure that everything's up to par.
So the takeaway is, to manage your credit responsibly over time.
Yes.
Right. I mean, so you be vigilant about your credit, not to abuse it, and make sure you're making your payments as well.
Yeah. And home buying is a process. Credit's a big part of it, and as much as 20 points in your credit score can have a negative impact on your overall monthly payment. So it's important to stay on top of it. And from a planning standpoint, the sooner you know where you're at, the better off you're going to be when it comes time to make a decision on to buy.
Fantastic. So we know you went over the items of payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history. Those are some of the data that determine a FICO score. But what is not in your FICO score?
Remember that it's not a balance sheet, so you could have $1 million in the bank, but if you're not paying your credit accounts, you might still have a poor credit score. So remember, it's merely the forecasting of creditors to be paid back. Certain types of inquiries aren't going to be in there. If you pull your own credit, we're not going to pull that, or we're not going to see that inquiry. Any sort of promotional, administrative inquiries, those aren't going to show up in your credit score. And then obviously race, religion, marital status, none of that's going to show in a credit score either.
Right.
We are not that big. So Kim just emailed us.
Let me ask you this, Mark. Does a higher FICO score determine a lower monthly payment? I mean, does that come into play? I know
Yes.
you touched on it a moment ago, but is the higher score what we're looking for a lower monthly payment, and how does that work?
Always want to keep it as high as possible. Because once you get over the 740 threshold, you're going to optimize your pricing. But if you're at 800 and you get a blip, parking ticket, medical collection, you've got room in your overall credit profile to absorb that kind of stuff. So you always want to keep it as high as possible.
That's fantastic. And of course, as always, as you're looking at your screens, you have Mark's contact information. So if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. His phone number, his email will be there. So this was our first part of discussing FICO scores. And of course, we have a very exciting second part as well. We are in Long Grove. We appreciate you watching. Today we're in Long Grove. Tomorrow we may be in your neighborhood. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a blessed day. Mark, any last words? Cheers. Cheers. I gotta tell you, this is one of the greatest cups of coffee I've had. I appreciate you bringing us over here, finding this place. It's fantastic. You gotta come.
See you soon.